Can you believe it? She's never even chatted with him on the phone. Ms. Dennis spills the beans that she has never seen, spoken to, or heard the voice of the dude she thinks is her dad. This bombshell kicks off her epic quest to figure out who her real dad is. Buckle up, because it's about to get even crazier.
But you have never seen him. You have never spoken to him. So today will be the very first day you will do that. And I wanted to make sure you were okay and you were prepared.
All I've known of him is these pictures that I've had my entire life. These are pictures of my mother and him at their wedding.
And so you've had these pictures, but you have not had your biological father.
Not one bit.
Hold the phone, here's where it gets juicy. Judge Lake rolls out the red carpet with the case of Dennis versus Dennis, where Ms. Dennis is about to eyeball her supposed dad for the first time. The plot thickens as Mr. Dennis throws in a curveball, totally denying he's her biological dad. This drama is heating up, and you'll want to see what's next.
Ms. Dennis, today will be the very first day you've ever laid eyes on the man you known to be your father. And I just want to make clear that you understand that Deny is your biological father. Jerome, at this time, I'd ask that please escort Mr. Dennis into the courtroom so we can begin the proceedings.
Wait till you hear this doozy. Mr. Dennis lays down his side of the story, blaming his wife's possible side adventures for his doubts about being the father. His tale is full of suspicions and unresolved drama that makes you want to grab some popcorn. And guess what? It's only going to dive deeper from here.
My position here right now today is to give her closure, being the father or not being the father, which to me, I believe I'm not, because when me and her mother were married, I was a truck driver at the time. On Memorial Day weekend, I was down in Florida. I called her phone. She is out on the lake in the middle of the night by herself on an antique wooden boat with her ex-boyfriend.
Check this out. In a plot twist, Mr. Dennis whips out evidence that he's been asking for a DNA test, which he claims got shot down more times than he can count. This stack of paperwork adds a whole layer of frustration and legal shenanigans to his story. Hold on to your seats. The next part is a real kicker.
I have requested from her mother, and I have proof for DNA test and everything else, that I have been denied by courts from her mother and everybody else.
What is this, sir?
That is proof of the DNA request that I have requested from the courts. But with her mother denying, I could not get a DNA test.
I heard the story, the full story, finally when I was 7 or 8 years old.
You're not going to believe what comes next. Over the phone, Ms. Morale fires back against Mr. Dennis's cheating claims, insisting she was faithful during their marriage. Their stories clash like superheroes in a blockbuster, with each side dishing out their version of the past.
As I recall this situation, it was not after we were married that I went on a boat with a friend, and my children were there. In fact, he let my daughter drive the boat. He's a good friend of mine.
She was dating him at the time we met.
Mr. Dennis, that you cheated with him.
She is telling
which
a
led to
fable
you
story.
becoming pregnant.
This part is a tearjerker mixed with a facepalm. Mr. Dennis drops a bombshell that he's been slumming it because of the child support for a kid he's not even sure is his. This revelation really shows how messy things have gotten. And just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, there's more drama ahead.
Mr. Dennis, you say you have been denied DNA tests that you've needed
Yes, ma'am, for 23
something years.
I have been homeless because of
Because
I can't
of the
pay
child
rent,
support.
my bills, 66 1/3% of my check, and I can't pay rent. I can't do nothing. I don't have a life, and I have got the proof of my rares what I'm back owed.
Grab a tissue for this one. Ms. Dennis gets real about how tough it's been growing up fatherless, questioning why her supposed dad never seemed to care. Her emotional unpacking is a gut punch of feels and unanswered questions. Just when you think it's all out on the table, there's a twist coming right up.
For a child. My father travels across state lines, drives trucks, makes deliveries, and shows up for a living. But he can't do those things for me.
I can understand.
That's what she's lived with for 20-something years. And I know you are being kind, and I know you are reserving a lot of your emotion because you're trying to be strong.
Thank you.
Here's the big reveal. Get ready to gasp.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Dennis, you are the father.
Buckle up, Buttercup! The show kicks off with Ms. Nazarene throwing down the gauntlet at Mr. Rami, blaming him for bailing on dad duties and leaving her and their kiddos in a lurch. She's not holding back, accusing him of ghosting them emotionally and financially. Hang tight, because the tea is just starting to spill.
Ms. Nazarene, you are here today to sue your ex-boyfriend for being an absentee father and a deadbeat dad. You say he has caused you, your 2 children, much pain and suffering by never stepping up as their father. Mr. Rami claimed Ms. Nazarene has done immeasurable to your life and career by her very difficult personality.
The gloves are off now. In a fiery exchange, Mr. Rami paints Ms. Nazarene as the queen of drama, irrational, volatile, and a nightmare to chat with. He insists her antics have made his life a roller coaster. But Ms. Nazarene claps back, calling out an incident where she claims Rami swiped $500. What's next? Oh, it's a doozy.
Complete irrationality. The decision to be overtly angry, vile, and violent for things that I consider to be then important. Very verbally, physically abusive.
Is that true, Ms.
No,
Nazarene?
it's absolutely not true. He and I have had one incident where he stole $500 from me and had me and my baby in a car that had a steering column that failed.
Just when you thought it was getting spicy, Ms. Nazarene lays into Mr. Rami for chasing dreams of rap stardom instead of job applications, all while she's been hustling through college and solo parenting their trio. Don't wander off. The fireworks are just getting started.
This man has spent almost 16 years ignoring his children while trying to pursue a rap career. Not trying to pursue his GED, not trying to go to college. I put myself 90 hours through college raising 3 children on my own. I've always done hair. This man does nothing.
The fact that we might have some children together and spend a short period of time enjoying each other's company.
Plot twist. The judge jumps in to quiz Mr. Rami about his financial contributions, or the lack thereof. Rami admits he's not the most consistent with the checks, but claims he chips in when he can. Oh, snap. Wait till you hear what comes next. It's a real kicker.
First of all, she decided to move to the other side of the country without talking to me. Well, it depends on what steady is. No, I haven't sent aid every 2 weeks. No, I haven't. But when I've had a job, I have sent help. Whenever she's hit me up for money, if I was able to,
yes, and $100. Yes, absolutely. Over the past 17, 16 years, he paid child support when he was with ex-second wife.
Hold on to your popcorn. Ms. Nazarene drops a bombshell that Mr. Rami pulled a Houdini for 3 years while she was beggars and solo with a toddler. The crowd goes wild and the plot thickens. You won't believe what's up next. It's straight up soap opera stuff.
Okay, so what happened to me being 7 months pregnant with a 1-year-old and you were gone for 3 years? Truth be told.
There was an incident. I was asked to bring the car to her because she had Messiah with her. Can you bring the car to Tarzan from Los Angeles? I tell her no problem. I would love to do that for you. Actually, what's funny is I'll tell you this story because it's more recent.
You'll need to sit down for this one. As they sling text messages at each other like dodgeballs, the tension is palpable. The texts reveal a war of words that's nothing short of a daytime drama spectacle. The next exchange? It's a cliffhanger that'll have you rolling.
I ain't downplaying. You trying to make me lose my youth because you're a deadbeat. I'm ready to smash you monsters. Your family does not care about us because we're too black-skinned to be a big fat yellow hoe to get love
and I mean it.
And care.
And that's the truth. And I meant every one of them.
Weren't they a young person? Did you say 21 years old?
No, they were
the
not
first
in reference.
grandchild.
You might want to grab more snacks for this part. Judge Lake calls Mr. Rami out for his laid-back attitude, which is not winning him any Dad of the Year awards. She doesn't mince words, calling him a loser in hopes of sparking some sense into him. The curtain's about to rise on the grand finale, and it's a showstopper.
Mr.
Mr. Rami,
arrangements.
will you make that effort to see them tomorrow?
Yes.
I don't care if look, you're a writer, but don't write on the text.
Good.
Just
yes,
say,
tomorrow.
and then if you could just give him a time, nothing else, and then you just say, I'll be there, and then
I have my hat.
be there. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here we go. Buckle up for a wild ride. Miss Mitchell spills the beans about meeting Mr. Jordan way back when, at a courthouse at the tender age of 7. Mr. Jordan was there for a child support gig, claimed her as his kiddo, and started shelling out the cash. But, plot twist, he later flips the script and acts like she's a stranger. This scene is just setting the table for a saga filled with more twists and turns in a pretzel factory.
The defendant, Mr. Jordan, in a house when you were 7 years old. You claimed he denied paternity testing at that time and claimed you as his daughter. But since that time, he has denied refused to treat you like his daughter.
Grab your tissues, folks. This one's a heart tugger. Mrs. Mitchell's here today with a mission. Find out if Mr. Jordan really is the old man or just another dude from her mom's past. After losing her mom, she's got more holes in her life than a Swiss cheese, and she's hoping today's the day she starts filling them. The judge gets it, sharing her own tale of loss, bonding right there in the courtroom. Up next, we dive into Mr. Jordan's side of the story. And oh boy, brace yourselves.
He is my biological father because I lost my mother a year ago from breast cancer. I want to fill that void. I don't have no one else. It's just me.
Not knowing stepped up to the plate during that time, so I only imagine.
Let's roll out the red carpet for Mr. Jordan's grand entrance. He dishes out the backstory of their first Corthusadrama, stepping up as the father figure without any DNA proof. Talk about a leap of faith. He even got all fatherly, prepping to adopt her and everything, till Mama pulled the plug. Hang tight, because Mr. Jordan's about to drop some truth bombs about his daddy. Doubts that'll have you raising your eyebrows.
You know, and I found out about her. Hey, all I could do was step up, saw her this young lady in the courthouse. I sat down and spoke with her, and I immediately raised my hand and said, hey, we don't need a paternity test. And I told her, I say, I'm your daddy, baby, right here.
Hold on to your seats. We're diving deep now. Mr. Jordan confesses he's been on the fence about being daddy dearest since day one, thanks to a fleeting fling with Mrs. Mitchell's mom. Despite his suspicions, he tried to bond over brake pads. Yep, you heard that right. Car maintenance is father-daughter bonding. But when those brakes bailed the next day, things went south fast. Stick around to see how this mechanical mishap lays out in court.
Blow me off every time. It was like every once or twice a year when he said, yeah.
I was trying to teach her how to be self-sufficient.
He stood there with me as I was doing my own brake. I left, went to work the next day. My brakes came on the freeway.
Cue the flashback music, because we're zipping back to when Mrs. Mitchell was just a 7-year-old in the courtroom. Mr. Jordan played the hero, volunteering to be her dad in front of a judge and all. But fast forward through the years, and it's like he's got amnesia or something, completely bailing on the dad duties. What's next? Watch as Mrs. Mitchell brings out the big guns with some heavy-duty evidence.
And on the bench, the judge asked me, do you know who your father is? I said, no. That's when he came up and said what he said about, that's when I was like, okay, well, you're my dad. So I'm thinking he about to start coming over. I'm about to be with him. I didn't see him for years. Even when my daughter passed away, he didn't call me.
I didn't know she was pregnant.
Things are getting real now. Mrs. Mitchell is not messing around, pulling out her birth certificate, which is as blank as Mr. Jordan's recent memories of fatherhood. She's laying it all out there, showing just how up in the air everything is about who her real dad might be. Don't go anywhere. The emotional roller coaster is just picking up speed.
I don't have his name, nothing.
So you're not listed on the birth certificate,
and also,
sir.
mother even doubted me. When I called trying to talk to, why are you calling my house and that's not your father?
But whenever she called me there to help her for whatever the reason.
No, that's a lie.
Oh boy, grab the popcorn, because Mrs. Mitchell is reading a letter to Mr. Jordan that's so loaded with emotion it could burst. She's calling him out for missing in action all these years. And let me tell you, it's more dramatic than a soap opera. As she tears into him, everyone's on the edge of their seats. Next up, we've got a sister showdown that's going to crank up the heat even more.
Even using that word brings up an image of pain. Lonely nights and years of, I never did anything to you for you to treat me the way you did over the years. There were times when I called you trying to fight in you, and all you did was laugh like you're doing now.
Ding, ding, ding! Here comes the sister fight you've been waiting for. Mrs. Mitchell and Miss Wagner, Mr. Jordan's confirmed daughter, go head-to-head, airing out all the dirty laundry. This isn't just a spat, it's a full-on sibling rivalry explosion, with accusations and denials flying faster than a gossip at a hair salon. Keep watching, because the DNA results are about to drop like a hot potato.
Growing up,
I'm the first one, so of course
You're always first.
I am the first one. We don't know nobody else. Don't
Whatever.
be hating, girl. Stop right here. All this crap.
No, what you are
She is
fake.
not like that.
Whatever,
You gonna do what I
whatever.
tell you to do, because I'm big sis.
No, you don't tell me.
what's interesting are you fighting just like sisters.
And now, the moment of truth. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Jordan, you are her father.
Guess who just entered the chat? Miss Bronson, that's who? She's always seen Mr. Roberts as her dad, but bam, now she's in court to confirm it because Mr. Roberts is starting to think maybe he's not the father after all.
Ms. Bronson, you have always known the defendant to be your biological father, but have opened your case against him to prove paternity because he now claims he has reason to deny he is your father.
Hold the phone. Mr. Roberts thought all was well in fatherland until a few years ago when someone suggested he might not be the daddy. Enter Mr. Banks, who's also throwing his hat in the paternity ring.
You believe Miss Bronson was your firstborn 3 years ago when your world was turned side down with the news that you may not be her biological father, and Mr. Bank claimed he is.
Talk about drama. Miss Bronson is all kinds of upset because her supposed dad is now questioning if he really is her dad. She's adamant though. Mr. Roberts is her pops, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Your Honor, I feel Mr. Roberts is my father. He's the only father I've known for 29 years. That's my father, period. I know him my whole life. He the only one I call my father. That's who I grew up known as my father. So Mr. Roberts is my biological father. That's it.
So here's Mr. Roberts, right? He's been dishing out cash for Miss Bronson's whole life, even though his name's nowhere on her birth certificate. Talk about commitment.
The times I was there, and I would also order child support.
Are you on her birth certificate?
No, Your Honor, I'm not on her birth certificate.
So, Miss Bronson, all your life, the man that you were told was your father, you believe father, and you had no reason to doubt it.
Yes, Your Honor, up until 2009.
So, back in 2009, Miss Bronson's mom drops a bombshell over the phone, mentioning Mr. Banks and hinting he might be her real dad. Imagine that call, "Hey honey, remember that guy I said might be your dad?" Like, what?
What happened in 2009?
I had a phone conversation with my mother. Then she mentioned mentioned Mr. Banks, and she said, don't you remember the guy that I told you thought he was your father? When she said that to me, Your Honor, it was a what moment, like, what are you talking about? She said that he wanted to get in contact with me. I gave her my number to give to him, or she gave me, I can't remember how we actually got in contact, and then we reached out to one another.
Did you know Mr. Banks? You know who he was?
No, Your Honor.
Imagine chilling out and your fiance comes up and says, babe, we need to talk. You might not be Miss Bronson's dad. Mr. Roberts probably needed a stiff drink after that chat. Hang tight, it's about to get even wilder.
A few years ago, Miss Blair told me that she needed to talk to me about something, and that's when I found out. I was kept in the dark about all this. I never knew anything about Mr. Banks. I also, spent 8 months in jail for unpaid child support, $75,000 in arrears.
You don't even get a call. Your fiance comes to you and says,
Possibility that Jasmine is not my biological daughter.
Here comes Mr. Banks with a story about a park meetup ages ago where Miss Bronson's mom hinted that he could be the daddy. And all this based on a family resemblance. Family reunions must be fun with these guys.
When did you become aware that you potentially could be Miss Bronson's biological father?
I can recall when she was about 6 or 7, and I ran to her mother, Jasmine, and her sister in the park. Then she had told me that Jasmine, my daughter then.
Oh, do you remember the words she used?
No, I don't. I just recall her saying that Jasmine was my daughter.
This whole time, poor Mr. Roberts was out of the loop about these paternity whispers. Then Mr. Banks strolls back into the picture, stirring up all sorts of family drama.
I knew nothing of Mr. Banks. I dated Miss Bronson. I even married her 2 months after Jasmine born, and I went on my business as raising, it's the start of my family. But possibility, if I'd known that earlier, it probably wouldn't have been. I would have discontinued that relationship. And I look at it like this, as being young, I would have been like, wow, I dodged the bullet. I did the best, and I took responsibility.
Mr. Roberts is feeling all the feels, upset about being the last to know he might not be the dad. He's wondering why no one bothered to clue him in sooner. Talk about feeling left out of the loop.
Yeah, because we've been on vacation, birthdays, she came down to Maryland, lived with us for 8 years, and now, she got her first apartment, which we live in this complex. I live in Benford, and she live around the corner. So I take them to school, her children taking them out my house. We still involved in each other's life to this day. But we here to find out if I'm her biological father or Mr. Banks.
Okay, everyone, here it comes. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Robert, you are not the father.
She's still my daughter. I love you. You're always going to be my daughter.
Here we go, folks. Mr. Redmond is introduced. He asserts that he owes over $10,000 in child support for 2 daughters, LaQuandria and Keisha Redmond, whom he claims are not his. This sets the stage for the court case, highlighting the central conflict over paternity and financial responsibilities.
Mr. Redmond, you currently owe more than $1,000 in child support for the defendant's 2 teenage daughters, LaQuandria Redmond and Keisha Redmond, who you say are not yours. Ms. Patterson, you say you are 100% certain that both girls are his daughters, and you cannot wait to prove the truth.
Get a load of this. Mr. Redmond talks about his time in the slammer because of the child support debacle, emphasizing the hefty consequences he's faced. He whips out some paperwork to show Judge Lake, proving the mountain of cash he owes, and dives into the legal muddles that have turned his life upside down. But hang on, the soap opera's just getting started.
Over 19 years, I've been taking care of these kids, Your Honor. I've been going to jail, and I know for a fact that these kids aren't mine. I've gone to jail because I owe more than $10,000.
What is that, sir?
This is some from the courts where I owe over $10,000 in child support pay.
Let me see that paperwork, Drew. You all are married.
No, ma'am.
You're not married.
Divorced.
Divorced now.
You're not gonna believe this bit. Marshall steps up with some juicy evidence that hints at Ms. Patterson's possible infidelity. This includes a rather compromising scenario with Ms. Patterson and another dude, which Mr. Redmond caught with his own eyes, fueling his doubts about being the daddy. Buckle up because it's about to get even juicier.
Your Honor, as you can plainly see, her and her friend was in the bathroom, and he had his pants down.
That is a lie.
To the bathroom, Your Honor, his pants was down, and he quickly tried to pull them up.
What?
Yes, Your Honor.
You all were dating?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're saying that's not true?
That's not true.
Oh boy, here's a twist. Mr. Marshall spills the beans about catching Ms. Patterson in bed with another man at her workplace. This bombshell adds a whole new level of drama and complicates the story about Ms. Patterson's loyalty. You'll want to stick around because the next part is a doozy.
What is this?
I went to Ms. Patterson's workplace, but at this point in time, at her job, the front people told me where she was at, how to find her location. I went back there, find the location that they told me to go. Ms. Patterson in the bed with another man, on top of the man.
Really? So this is you observing?
Yes, ma'am.
Guess what's next? The spotlight swings to Kashia as Mr. Redmond questions if he's really her pops too. He describes how frosty things got at home, including opting for the couch instead of the bed, which he reckons supports his claim of not being the father. Just when you think it can't get more tangled.
I was so furious with Ms. Patterson when we left her hometown around, I slept on the couch. I wouldn't even sleep in the bed with her.
The reason why he ain't sleeping in the bed, he was never at home. He'll come home when it's time for me to go to work. How you gonna sleep in the bed and you too much in the streets?
Because I didn't want to look in your face.
Now, this is heart-wrenching, but kinda sweet. Kayashia and Lequandria Redmond step into the courtroom, sharing their feelings about Mr. Redmond, who they've been told is their father all along. Their emotional accounts shed light on how this paternity mess has affected them personally, and how they feel about Mr. Redmond's dad skills, or lack thereof. But don't go anywhere. The emotional roller coaster is about to hit a big drop.
Even as children, you all don't remember?
When I was always taken to go to his mother's house, because he didn't have a house. He's always in and out of my life. He never done anything for me.
And that hurts you?
I mean, it did, but then I had to realize again that...
Has it hurt you?
When we was homeless and we had nothing, we called him and he never gave us nothing, asked for money or anything.
And now, a moment of truth. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Redmond, you are the father.
We both look alike.
All right, strap in, folks. The court kicks off with Mr. Poravecchio tossing a bombshell right out the gate. He's accusing Ms. Touche and her daughter, Ms. Lutz, of pocketing a cool $150,000 from his dad's death settlement by pretending Ms. Lutz is his sassis. He's pretty sure she's not, and that Ms. Touche has been playing the long con to snag that inheritance. Let's see how this wild ride unfolds.
Mr. Poravecchio, you claim that the defendants, Ms. Touche and her daughter, Ms. Lutz, fraudulently received $150,000 in settlement money from the death of your father, Ricky Poravecchio Sr. Cause Ms. Lutz is not your biological sister and her mother covered up that fact.
Hold on to your popcorn. Mr. Poravecchio dives deeper into the soap opera that is his family's drama. He details how his dad met his watery end while working on a tugboat and how it was all written off as an accident. But there's a twist. He's not buying the whole happy family picture and insists on a DNA test to prove his point. Buckle up because there's more juicy drama ahead.
Mr. Poravecchio, how have you and your family been defrauded by the defendant?
My father was on a tugboat working and he drowned. Accidental death is what it said on his death certificate.
You're not gonna believe this part. The courtroom turns into a daytime drama as they hash out Ms. Lutz's real last name. Born Thiel, but later switched to Poravecchio to cash in on some sweet social security benefits. The plot thickens with family secrets spilling out. This inheritance tangle is just getting good, folks.
I have evidence right here on the birth certificate.
You submitted this birth certificate because originally she was named, Ms. Lutz was named Thiel. And then later on, her last name was changed to Poravecchio. You felt like she in some way affect settlement distribution?
Correct,
Tell
Your Honor. A week after my dad was declared deceased, Miss Lutz was named changed from Thiel.
Oh boy, grab your tissues or your giggles. Family members are really laying it on thick, sharing sob stories and pointing fingers about who did what at family picnics. Ms. Lutz pulls at the heartstrings, talking about her daddy issues and trying to reclaim her Poravecchio status. But don't wander off. The blame game is about to hit overtime.
Because I have never heard that I was not a Poravecchio. Got into it on Facebook. He actually met my mom at Mardi Gras and begged her to let us back in her life.
Yes, I did.
And then when we were at a restaurant celebrating my brother's birthday after being in contact for a year with her parents. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I remember it very clearly. She made my brother cry.
Can it get any spicier? Yep. Now they're throwing around accusations of Ms. Touche stepping out on Mr. Poravecchio Sr. with some mystery man. She's all denials and eye rolls, swearing it's all a big misunderstanding. This family feud is serving up more twists than a pretzel factory, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's next.
When Ricky and I first met, I was somewhere around 16 years old. I mean, we just immediately, he's a handsome, good-looking Italian man. I just couldn't help myself. I fell in love, and it was just him and I, just us together. Things were great. I got pregnant, I was almost 18 years old because he started showing signs of jealousy, issues going on. We got past that.
Here it comes, the moment of truth. The DNA results are in, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Poravecchio and Ms. Lutz are siblings.
Thank you. Keep up, up. You wrong.
So, the court's buzzing and Judge Lake kicks things off with a bang. The court session cranks into gear with Judge Lake addressing the case of Coe versus Coe, where it's mom versus daughter in a family showdown. The mom, Miss Coe, throws shade, claiming her daughter is a wild child and questions if her daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, really fathered her grandkid, given the daughter's love for playing the field.
Miss Coe, you say you're here today because your daughter is an out-of-control teenager and she needs help. Furthermore, you claim that you have serious doubts that your daughter's boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, is father of your 7
7-month-old grandson. You say Mr. Boyce has been a father to the baby, but that your daughter has numerous sexual partners. He needs to know the truth.
Here comes Mama Koe dropping truth bombs left and right. Miss Koe, the mom, takes the floor, painting a picture of her daughter as a teen, gone wild, who's even smacked a cop around. She's sure her grandson's dad might be one of many, and she's here to clear the air.
Miss Koe, please tell the court why you're here today.
I'm here because my daughter is out of control. She has an issue with authority. She doesn't want to be told what to do, how to do, from fights at school, hitting a police officer, not once, but twice.
You won't believe this. Turns out the daughter's drama squad trashed mom's pad. The courtroom gasps as the mom recounts a tale of her daughter, causing a ruckus that led to her friends trashing the house and car. It's a real-life soap opera unfolding right before our eyes.
She made a phone call saying I and my girlfriend had jumped on her. She still did not want to follow house rules. All I asked her to do was not disrespect the house. Don't bring the drama to the house.
That's not the truth.
You brought drama to the house.
That's not
You
the
made a
truth.
phone call saying my mother and her girlfriend just jumped on me.
Oh boy, here comes Zaire with a backstory that could win her an Oscar. The daughter shares her sob story, growing up with dad because mom ditched her at 2. The room's heavy with sympathy and side eyes.
Children grow up with their mother, they're not their father. I grew up with my father because due to the fact she abandoned me when I was told she dropped me off when I was 2 years old and never came back. The reason I believe this is because I haven't seen her until I got in my teen age.
You didn't have so much as a visitation.
Oh yeah, I had visitation rights. She came over on weekends. I never missed a
did
beat.
you ever have a positive relationship?
No, not really.
Plot twist. Mom isn't sure who the baby daddy is, and she's not holding back. As the drama thickens, we dive into the mess of the daughter's love life, where mom hints there could be a lineup of potential daddies.
That's what she's saying, but it's not just one guy. There was somebody else in the picture. I know that there was someone else. Now, how many more it was, I'm not for sure, but I do know that there was someone else. So when I find out she's pregnant, I go to the guy. I go to Larry. I say to Larry, look, as Zaire's mother, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
All eyes on Mr. Boyce as he steps up, hoping he's the pops. The boyfriend, Mr. Boyce, shares his side, hoping he's the father, but knowing there's a chance he might not be thanks to the daughter's past flings.
I feel like from the beginning, I knew it was a possibility, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying, he made me grow more, you know what I'm saying, since he been around. Cause my mom, she passed away. Once I told her about it, you know what I'm saying, she just, oh, that's my grandbaby. She buying him everything.
And so you're hoping today, what are your hopes?
I'm hoping that he's mine.
The moment of truth arrived.
When it comes to baby Christian, Mr. Boyce, you are not the father.
All right, strap in for this wild ride. Ms. Weir kicks off the drama by claiming a single fiery night of love. Mr. Wilson ended up with her getting pregnant. Now he's all, nope, not me. She's here to prove he's the dad, because let's face it, solo parenting is no joke. Get ready, because it only gets crazier from here.
Ms. Ware, you claim that after one night of passion with the defendant, you ended up pregnant, but he is now denying paternity of your 3-year-old son, Ayante. Opened your case to prove he is the father because you are tired of raising your son alone.
Hold the phone. Did he really just say that? Mr. Wilson fires back, suggesting Ms. Weir is just throwing names in a hat, hoping one will fit as daddy. He's all about the I wore a condom defense, denying any chance he's the father. Brace yourself. The next bit is a doozy.
Mr. Wilson, you say the plaintiff is running potential fathers and is trying to pin her baby on you. You say you used a condom and there is no way are Ayante's father.
Here's the scoop. The judge digs into how these two met. Turns out Ms. Weir and Mr. Wilson have been tight for years. Just chilling and doing friend stuff. No romance on the horizon initially, but oh, how the tables have turned. Watch what happens next.
I met him probably like 8 years ago, just, passing through the city. I was going to hair school at the time, and, I would see him on my way to hair school. We would hang out with each other, potluck. He cooked something, I cooked something, bring over to his house, or he'd come over to my house, long talks, this is my gay best friend,
Oh, your gay best friend?
Yes.
Okay, so you all were friends?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're not gonna believe this twist. From a casual Netflix night to an unexpected hookup, Ms. Weir spills the beans on how a cozy movie night with Mr. Wilson turned steamy after she made the first move and he wasn't backing down. Buckle up, it's about to get even wilder.
I had called him over, I was bored, I was home alone, I was like, you wanna come over, get him some drinks, turn up and chill with Netflix or something. He might think he's gay or whatever, that's what I'm thinking to myself, he think, but he ain't met me. When I made that move, he didn't push me away.
So you had been plotting on this all the time, but you were waiting for the time to make your move.
Yes, ma'am. ma'am.
Wait, what now? The air gets tense as they clash over whether a condom made an appearance that night. Mr. Wilson insists it played a starring role, but Ms. Weir is adamant it was more au naturel.
He'll be my friend.
I'm not the father, Your Honor. She's been with multiple guys. I'm not the father, Your Honor. I'm not gonna take that lie. I'm just not, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Did you use protection that night?
Yes, Your Honor. Condom.
Mr. Wilson.
I'm not gonna go there.
You did not.
Your Honor. I use condom.
Your Honor,
I know what I put on me.
Use no condom.
She's done tested multiple people. She's just trying to pin the child on me. I love her and all. You know, my godson, but this is not my child, Your Honor. This is just...
Here comes the plot twist. The court dives into Ms. Weir's other possible love interests around the baby-making time. She admits to a few other rendezvous, but swears DNA tests have ruled them out.
Were you dating other men at that time?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Were you sexually active with the other men?
Yes, ma'am, I would.
Were you using protection with those men?
Some I was.
Some?
Wow.
How many other men? Say it loud and proud. You said you're a confident woman.
3.
Besides Mr. Wilson.
And the ones
Yes,
that
Your
are
Honor.
tested, Your Honor.
Seriously? This guy? Mr. Wilson sticks to his guns, refusing to believe he could be the father, despite the mounting pressure and Ms. Weir's insistence. He loves the kid, but denies all dad duties.
I'm not the father, Your Honor. Like I said, I'm not the father. I don't tell her, you know, I love my godson and all, but I'm not the father. I used protection that night.
Mr. Wilson,
I don't care
please
what
don't
Miss
sit here
Ware
and
have
lie.
to say.
Don't sit here and lie, sir.
I'm not gonna go back and forth with you, Miss Ware. I know I'm not the father, Your Honor.
Okay.
You said there was a third guy.
I had met him way back, probably like 9 years ago, and I had met him by being in this apartment complex.
Grab your popcorn, here comes the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Wilson, you are not the father.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know, I'm sorry.
Oh boy, here we go. The episode kicks off with the case of Sissom v. Riley and Taylor. Ms. Sissom, alongside her daughter Destiny, is here to drop a bombshell. She's 2,000% sure that Anthony Taylor is the daddy of her teenage daughter's 8-month-old munchkin, Osiris. The stage is set with high emotions as Ms. Sissom lays down her claim. Buckle up, because the drama train is just leaving the station.
What stands before me is a case of babies having babies, teenage. This is upsetting. That said, Ms. Sissom, you and your teenage daughter, Destiny, are to prove that Anthony Taylor is father of your daughter's 8-month-old son, Osiris.
Can you believe this? Ms. Riley is throwing down the gauntlet, adamant that her son Anthony isn't the father of little Osiris and has been screaming for a DNA test since day one. Here we have a classic showdown between two fierce mamas bear, each staking their ground.
Ms. Riley, you stand before me claiming that you are 100% positive your son is not the child's father and have insisted on a DNA test from the moment heard Ms. Sissom was pregnant.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. The court heats up with accusations flying faster than a speeding bullet. Brenda accuses Destiny of sneaking into her house, while Destiny and her mom stand firm on Anthony being the father. The judge is scrambling to bring order as tempers flare and voices rise.
She was sneaking at my house. She was coming over here lying, conniving, saying, I have a 14-year-old daughter at home. She was sneaking over there hollering, I was coming over there to see my daughter.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
My son was going to school. How you going to tell me what's a lie?
Your Honor,
they
was having sex in her house.
You didn't even care
and
when
she,
your daughter
what's
was
her than she? If she gonna tell them,
your daughter was there.
she told them.
You're not gonna believe this twist. The judge paints a picture of sneaky teen romance under the radar, leading to Destiny's pregnancy. This bit unravels the complicated, secretive dances these youngsters were doing right under their parents' noses. Stick around because the fireworks are just getting started.
But really, the whole time,
She
having sex with your son. That's both of them teenagers having sex.
My point is exactly, and I didn't know.
That's the plot. The reason why we're here is to get down bottom of this child is really your grandchild. Because I know you want to know that. Now, Destiny, before I go further, was my summation of the plot correct?
Yeah. Things are really heating up now. Brenda drops a bomb by saying she saw Destiny with another dude, throwing more doubt on Anthony's paternity. This adds a whole new layer of what the heck to the mix. Grab your tissues for this one.
I see her walking with another guy. Son at school. This is before that said anything about you was pregnant. Next thing you know, I find out my son come telling me that she told him that she pregnant. How is that? You just came around 2 weeks ago? And he was messing with another girl at the time.
You never even thought Destiny was having sex with your son.
No, I didn't.
Because you just thought Destiny and her group of friends with your daughter.
Yes.
Marilyn, Destiny's grandma, pours her heart out about her daughter having to hit pause on her big dreams of becoming a pediatrician and lawyer because of the baby. This emotional bombshell really tugs at the heartstrings. And just when you think you can catch a breath, there's more drama ahead.
You're saying, Miss Sissom, your daughter had big dreams for her life. Dreams to do what?
My daughter is a senior this year. She was going to be a pediatrician and a lawyer. Now she cannot do that because she has Osiris.
Oh, like my son didn't have dreams. children. She has Osiris to take care of, so she cannot do that now.
Right up under your nose. They plotted this plot, pulled it off, and now we're all here.
Yeah.
Just when you think it couldn't get more heated, the court session hits a peak with Anthony confessing his belief in his fatherhood, sparking a full-blown family feud in the courtroom as everyone battles over rights and what's best for the baby. The judge is about to drop a major reality check.
Do you believe you are Osiris's biological father?
Yes, I do, because I picked Destiny, I took her virginity, and I felt like I was getting into a lot of trouble and things that was happening, and I felt like I needed another person that like got me like my blood. I didn't want to have a baby, but as in like the things that I was like going through and like.
Brace yourself for this reality slap. The judge, completely fed up with the immaturity on display, rips into both families for their lack of support and guidance for the young parents. This culminates in a fiery lecture that could singe your eyebrows off.
You all are kids. You don't know what the world you're doing. The rationale is so irrational, it's scary. I get the reason, but the immaturity and the lack of understanding in which you approach this entire situation, we gotta do better. And truly, we still don't know definitively if this is his biological child.
And now, for the grand finale, the DNA results are revealed, and surprise, surprise.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are his father.
All right, strap in, folks. Judge Lake rolls out the red carpet, presenting the spicy drama of Mrs. McDowell, who's dead sure her baby Annabelle is her hubby, Mr. McDowell's kiddo. She's all in, betting the farm that she didn't step out during the baby-making window. And just when you thought it was all about baby talk, wait till you hear the hubby's side of the story.
Ms. McDowell, you say you have no doubt your 1-month-old daughter, Annabelle, is your husband's biological child because you claim you only had sex with Mr. McDowell during the window of conception.
Buckle up, it's getting juicy. Mr. McDowell swings back, calling out his wife as the town gossip queen and throwing shade at Mr. Alfred, hinting he might just be the real daddy-o. He's so sure the little one isn't his that he's ready to hit the road if the DNA test says he's not the father.
Mr. McDowell, you say your wife is nothing but a cheater and you believe the man she left you for, Mr. Alfred, is in fact Annabelle's father. Say that once the DNA results prove the child is not yours, you want out of this marriage.
You won't believe this twist. Dive into the tale of Mrs. McDowell's supposed simple night out that turned into a full-blown telenovela. Allegedly, she was caught cozying up with her new beau by a so-called friend, which Mrs. McDowell totally brushes off as a big misunderstanding.
She just one day told me she was going to go to her female friend's house and spend a few hours. And then she called me later that night and said she was going to end up spending the night. Well, the next day, the female friend she went to go spend the night with called me and said she walked into the home and caught her, Miss McDowell, her boyfriend, on the couch cuddling. And whenever I brought it to Miss McDowell's attention that I knew about it, she said that's what friends do.
Hold the phone. More drama coming up. Mrs. McDowell spills the beans about needing some space from Mr. McDowell, hinting that his idea of a good time might involve a little too much sharing for her taste, which he completely denies. You won't want to miss what's coming next, as the layers of this onion keep peeling away.
To me, that sends up a red flag. So I told him I needed time away, a week at least, to think about what I needed to do.
But within
if
that
I
week,
wanted to stay in the relationship. Well, I went out to my friend's house. Dude was my friend and the chick was my friend. I did not know she was planning on leaving that night. It's the whole reason I ended up asking to stay the night.
Grab your popcorn. Here's where it gets complex. They dive deep into the nitty-gritty of who was cozy with who and when, breaking out a calendar for proof. Mrs. McDowell is playing connect the dots with dates and potential daddy moments with Mr. McDowell and Mr. Alfred. The air's thick with tension. And trust me, you'll want to see how the judge handles this bombshell.
And since then, she jumped from boyfriend to boyfriend, co-worker to co-worker. She was with like 5 or 6 different guys.
No, I was with 4 different guys. I have proof here that yes, I did. We had sex on the 27th, and also I had sex with Mr. Alfred on the 9th and the 10th of November. And that's the week I had sex with Mr. McDowell on the back road.
This first page of evidence is a calendar.
No way. Check this out. Judge Lake digs into the juicy details, trying to pin down who might be the real father based on some seriously suspect calendar entries. It's a regular Maury episode here, folks. Don't go anywhere because the audience's reaction to this circus is priceless.
On this calendar, you say your midwife gave you a date of conception, a window. She said that that was the week of October 26th. The 27th is when you slept with your husband, Mr. McDowell, because there was no one else you slept with for at least 2 weeks.
That the baby was mine because I slept with her a week before the next guy did.
Oh, snap. Here comes the mother-in-law with enough tea to fill the Boston Harbor. She's not buying what Mrs. McDowell is selling, and she's here to set the record straight. But she's not just a sideline commentator. She's had a front row seat to the chaos. This family feud is about to go nuclear, so keep watching.
Well, it's not my grandchild, first of all.
We had a court scheduled in our town town. I was walking down the hallway. I was running late for court. She did not know where I was coming. I tucked in behind the corner to where no one could see me.
No, Your Honor, that is not true.
Yes, I did, because
I said that I did not
and
think
I asked him, and he confirmed it.
He asked me if
to
it
me,
was
why did
Mr. McDowell's child.
Miss Combs, let's be respectful.
Ready for a curveball? Enter Mr. Alfred, the alleged side piece turned potential baby daddy. He's not convinced he's the father either, and suggests there might be another contender for the title. It's like a daytime TV jackpot, and the truth bomb is just moments away. Trust me, reveal is going to knock your socks off.
Do you believe your baby Annabelle's biological father?
Personally, I don't believe me or Michael, either one or the father. I think it might be the gentleman that she was with before she tried to work things out with Michael.
What's interesting here is, say the baby's your husband said baby's your lover, and your lover says baby by another.
And here comes the grand finale, folks. Drum roll, please.
As to whether Mr. McDowell or Mr. Alfred is the biological father, Mr. Alfred, you are her father.
Thank God.
Buckle up, folks. Miss Schwartz kicks off the case to prove Mr. Hatton is the daddy to her 9-month-old munchkin, Aslan. Despite his major doubts, she's sure he's the father. Meanwhile, Mr. Hatton throws a curveball, claiming the real dad is actually the plaintiff's hubby. You won't believe what comes next.
Miss Schwartz, you opened your case to prove defendant that he fathered your 9-month-old child, Aslan. You understand his doubt, but state he is her father. Mr. Hatton, you claim you are not Aslan's dad and are certain that her biological father is another man, and that man is the plaintiff's husband.
Oh snap! Mr. Hatton's stirring the pot by asking for a lie detector test for Miss Schwartz to check if she's been playing the field. The stakes are sky high and trust is on the line. Things are heating up, and you just gotta see what's coming.
Additionally, you petitioned the court for a polygraph on Miss Schwartz to determine the extent of her alleged affairs. So, we will have those results in a moment.
Grab your tissues! Miss Schwartz spills her heart out about how rough it feels to have Mr. Hatton denying Aslan. She contrasts this with his acceptance of their other 2 kiddos. The feels are real, folks. Stick around because the tears are just the start.
It hurts. It really does hurt because we have 2 other children together and fathers them. Little Aslan is left out. I feel my daughter's pain whenever she looks up at him. He'll be there with her while I'm at work, things like that. Other family members are taking care of my child and he wants nothing to do with it.
I have reason to believe that she's not worked like she's saying she is.
Plot twist. Even though Mr. Hatton doubts he's Aslan's pop, he didn't miss a single prenatal appointment. He's there, buying into the baby hype, which makes you wonder about his true feelings. The story takes a wild turn with the next testimony, so don't go anywhere.
I was involved in her pregnancy, even though I don't think the child's mine. I wanted to be a support for her.
He was excited about the gender whenever I found out it's him. He was there for everything. And now all of a sudden, oh, I'm not the daddy. Well, who's the daddy? Jesus? Because I didn't sleep with nobody else.
No, I can tell you who the daddy is, Mark Schwartz.
Little black book telling me who I don't write down dates, and I know who I...
It's getting juicy. Mr. Schwartz steps up to dish out all the dirt on his marriage and Miss Schwartz's escapades. The drama is spilling over, and it's messy with a capital M. What happens next with the polygraph results will have your jaw on the floor.
No, she cheated on me with Mr. Hatton and multiple others.
How did you first find out about Mr. Hatton?
She told me she was cheating on me, and I let her go.
And I was also calling him on the phone right in front of you.
And you guys even got into an argument one night, and I called Hatton back and talked you guys through it. I even took you the 250 miles to him.
Get ready for the bombshell. The lie detector spills the beans, showing Miss Schwartz has been playing away from home. The tea is piping hot and the truth stings. But hang tight, the biggest reveal is just around the corner.
You were asked, since your relationship with Mr. Hatton began, have you had physical sexual contact with any other man other than Mr. Hatton? You said yes. The lie detector determined you were being truthful. So you basically confessed to being with another man.
Hold on to your popcorn.
The biological father is Mr. Hatton.
Whoa, buckle up. Ms. Shan strolls into court, totally bummed because her high school sweetheart, who also took her to prom, is now balking at the idea that he's the daddy of 15-month-old Aiden, sparking a collective awe from the crowd. Brace yourself, it's just getting juicy.
Miss Shans, you appear in court today because you are devastated that your first love and the person you lost virginity to is now denying your 15-month-old son, Aiden. You say once you prove to the defendant that he is father, you hope you two can finally officially
family.
Here comes the drama. Mr. Hollis rolls in with his mama in tow, both swearing up and down that Ms. Shands could win an Oscar for her storytelling. They're convinced he's not the dad and think they know who the real daddy is. Oh, and they're about to spill the beans, so keep your eyes peeled.
Mr. Hollis, you are here with your mother and you both testify that Ms. Shands is a pathological liar and you both don't believe you fathered her son, but claim to know did. I've read through the court file and this is a classic case of babies having babies.
Tears and more tears. Ms. Shands lays it all out, hoping to prove Mr. Hollis is indeed the father, so they can stop the madness and become one big happy family again. She's all about fixing the broken pieces. Hang tight, because this emotional roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
Today, I would like to accomplish that Amir is the father of my child. He has been in my baby life ever since my baby has been 3 months. He's my first love, first kiss, my first. Today, I just want to know the truth about, I want to prove to him that he is the father of my child.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. We dive into Ms. Shands' spicy past, where she admits to some revenge bedtime antics with Mr. Hollis's buddy, no gloves, all in, multiple times. This bombshell is stirring up a whole mess of trouble, and boy, it's not slowing down. Next up, things get even messier.
You have revenge sex with one of his friends. And did you use protection?
No.
And then how many times did you have sex with this friend of his?
Multiple times.
But were you also still being intimate with Mr. Hollis?
We had broke up. When me and his friend had an affair, we wasn't together at all.
An affair.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more tangled, we learned that Mr. Hollis was out of the loop about Aiden's grand entrance into the world. Yep, he missed all the action and didn't even get a text. What's coming next? More, he said. She said, and you don't want to miss it.
The friend was with me when Aiden was born, in labor.
And my mom, I sent my mom there because I knew there was a possibility that my son could be the dad as well. He favored my son when he was born.
Oh, I wasn't never invited. Like, anything I found out about the baby, I found out by myself. Like, I ain't even know she was in labor. I had to find that out. I was walking out of Fort Pierce, somebody came to me and said, Zaya had her baby. I ain't even know she was in labor. I ain't even know she was in a hospital. I ain't know.
Yikes, this is like a soap opera. Ms. Shands confesses she wasn't exactly Ms. Honest 2017 with everyone involved about who might be Aiden's dad, stirring up even more street gossip and side eyes. Fasten your seatbelts, the revelations just keep on coming.
To this day, the other person doesn't know that Mr. Hollis could be Aiden's biological father?
He hears it off the streets because everybody on the tell him that the baby looked like Aiden, the baby looked Amir, the baby looked like Amir.
But in his mind, running around the streets saying, this is my baby.
They're beefing over it. That him and my son is beefing over it.
Beefing over it?
Yeah, they got into it.
Alert the press. DNA time. We finally get the much anticipated DNA results, and guess what?
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Hollis, you are not the father.
Can you believe this? Miss Wandick is here to claim $79, $40 for baby outfits that Mr. Stampley yanked back in a huff. She's also gunning for paternity test results to prove he's the daddy of her 15-month-old munchkin. Brace yourself, it's just getting juicy.
For waiting outside of the courtroom who will turn this case.
They're arguing over baby clothes chucked into a neighbor's yard, all because of a big blow-up. Miss Wandick's suing because those tiny outfits were for the baby, not her. Next up, Mr. Stampley spills the tea on what got him so steamed. Poked the bear by denying his paternity. The courtroom's heating up, and there's more chaos coming.
She wanted to chase me down the street, want to pull on my clothes, want to act fool out in the public, and then she wanted to tell me, oh, well, this is not your baby. So yeah, I made it rain. Onesies on the roof, it was onesies across the street, it was onesies everywhere.
Maybe baby. He dropped $410 on the shindig. No doubts at the time. But oh boy, you'll want to stick around to hear what comes next.
You said you put on for Ms. Wandick, you thought she was carrying your child? Is that the baby shower?
Yes, ma'am.
And so at this point, did you have doubts that the child was yours?
Well, Your Honor, I feel I was suckered and sweet talking to this baby shower.
They dish on how they met and the roller coaster ride of their relationship, including a stint when Mr. Stampley was behind bars. As the story unfolds, buckle up because their past is about to collide with the present.
I wasn't dating until the day that he went to jail.
And so in your opinion, you all were in a relationship?
They throw down over cheating, hashing out how the cheating might line up with the baby timeline, stirring up a paternity puzzle. As accusations fly, the next witness could turn everything on its head.
She came over and me and her was talking. She was acting real funny. So I just asked her, I said, man, I'm like, did you cheat on me? I mean, what's going on? So she admitted that she cheated.
And I admitted that I cheated on him.
You won't believe who's talking now. Min Moore with her next move.
What do you know about this?
Well, I caught my sister cheating on Mr. Stampley while he was incarcerated. I
wonder if I had calculate probable dates of conception are September 16th through September 24th. During the time Mr. Stampley was incarcerated.
They're all ears for the DNA test results that'll either confirm or deny Mr. Stampley's fatherhood claims. Don't touch that dial. The answer's about to drop.
It has been
So, get this. Judgment is for the plaintiff, Minzrakor Stewart. She claims she and Mr. Anderson were an item for 6 months 27 years back, resulting in their kid, Christopher. She accuses Mr. Anderson of playing hide-and-seek with his dad duties. But stick around, it only gets juicier.
Miss Stewart, you say a 6-month relationship with Mr. Anderson 27 years ago resulted in the birth of your son, Christopher. You say Mr. Anderson is a deadbeat who's been running from his responsibilities all this time, and you intend to prove paternity today.
You won't believe this bit. Mr. Anderson fires back, calling Ms. Stewart a bit too friendly with too many, chasing child support like it's her job, and totally clueless about who the real daddy might be. He's adamant he's not the father. Oh boy, wait till you hear Ms. Stewart's comeback.
You say Miss Stewart was a promiscuous two-night stand who is obsessed with child support money and has no idea who her child father is. Say there is no way you are her son's father.
Things are heating up. Ms. Stewart doubles down, insisting Mr. Anderson has been dodging his dad duties. Mr. Anderson is not having it, claiming he's been in and out of court trying to sort this mess. Buckle up, the drama is ramping up.
I'm here to prove that Tony Anderson is a deadbeat father.
I object, Your Honor.
I've been going back and forth to court to try to establish paternity.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Because he is Chris' father. It's time for him to man up. We dated for 6 months, Your Honor.
She's a lie.
You say it wasn't 6 months, Mr. Anderson?
We only messed around twice. We was more or less friends with benefits.
No way, did he just say that? The argument heats up with Mr. Anderson, recalling a rather flattering comparison of himself to a pork chop by Ms. Stewart during their first meet. Yep, you read that right. And guess what? There's more hilarity ahead.
We talked on the phone for about 2 months. She came to my house, she was looking at me like I was a pork chop. You know what I'm saying? So
you wasn't tasty.
Look, very much.
Because you only cook beans and rice food.
Well, I count on one hand how many times I've ever seen her in my whole life.
That's a lie.
You say you dated for 6 months.
This fool in February of '91. We was in a relationship. The last time I chilled with him was in August.
Hold on to your seats, folks. Mr. Anderson tries to set the record straight with a Labor Day weekend timeline that he says proves he couldn't be the dad. He's pretty firm on this point. Keep watching, because this roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
We got Labor Day weekend.
Oh, so in yellow, you have Christopher Stewart's birthday is February 19th, where you had the 2-night stand was Labor Day weekend.
Yes, ma'am. She came in the van, her and her friends, they took us to the beach, and we had sex in the van. That was the second time.
Second time.
I'm lying.
I'm listening. Second time.
She was already 2 months pregnant.
Can you handle this? They delve into the nitty-gritty of their brief fling, with Mr. Anderson insisting it was just a birthday bash booty call. Ms. Stewart disagrees. Things are about to get even spicier, so don't go anywhere.
I met Mr. Anderson February. The last time me and him slept together throughout the whole 6 months was his birthday week. His birthday was in August.
I mean,
your birthday not in August 27th.
But we had sex when that was like 4 or 5 days after my birthday.
So that's your.
Would you say the whole weekend?
Do the math.
1 day.
I said the whole course of the relationship.
Ain't no relationship. Stop lying.
This part's a doozy. Ms. Stewart spills the beans about telling Mr. Anderson about the baby bump. He supposedly said, nah, you trippin'. He was MIA at the birth. Didn't sign the birth cert. Nada. What's next? You'll crack up at his excuse.
You find out you're pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you tell Mr. Anderson?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And what does he say?
I'm tripping. Who the daddy?
Then obviously he wasn't a part of the birth process, wasn't there when Christopher was born. Did you put his name on the birth certificate?
No, Your Honor. He was not present.
Young, that's not true. When that boy was 2 days old, I came over there with some diapers.
You're not ready for this. Ms. Sar. Ms. Stewart whips out the big guns. Proof of Mr. Anderson owing over 20 grand in child support. Mr. Anderson admits it, but isn't happy about the figure. Strap in. The next part is a wild ride.
The reason why we probably here today, because when I was contacted, I received a letter in the mail from the Texas Attorney General. They've been compensating money from him. It's a debt for over $20,000 that he owed. I got the paperwork right here.
Let me see
you trying
this
to run for
paperwork.
Just like you
what
ran
you mean?
for father.
You DNA test the whole life.
It would make sense. Run did, but I ain't running now because it really don't matter because he grown.
And boom goes the dynamite.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Anderson, you are the father.
Yeah.
Can you even believe this bombshell? Jasmine Degree learns from her mom when she was just a sprout at age 9 that Mr. Little might actually be her bio dad. Big yikes considering she thought someone else was. This whole truth bomb came after Mr. Little had been denying paternity left and right despite admitting he and Jasmine's mom had a bit of a fling back in the day. The courtroom is buzzing and you can cut the tension with a knife. Just when you think it can't get wilder, buckle up because it does.
Ms. Degree, you say your whole world changed when you were just 9 years and your mother revealed to you that your dad was not your biological father. Mr. Little was your father, yet claim he's denied you ever since. Mr. Little, you say you are 100% certain you are not her father.
Talk about a wild phone call. At the ripe old age of 11, Jasmine decides to play detective and rings up Mr. Little to chat about dad stuff. Mr. Little is all DNA test or bust, despite barely knowing who Jasmine is. This early clash sets the stage for a bunch of drama and messy emotions all over the courtroom floor. Hold on to your popcorn because the next scene is a doozy.
When I was about 11 years old, I got his number off a family member that's married to his family member. And I called him up on the phone, who my mother was and what I believe. And he told me that he don't know, he need a DNA test, he don't think so. And
Mr. Little, you told an 11-year-old you needed a DNA test?
Yes, I did.
Straight to an 11-year-old?
Yes, I did.
Get a load of this guy. In the middle of a heated throwdown, Mr. Little whips out a calendar from 24 whole years ago as his so-called proof, trying to dodge the conception timeline like it's dodgeball. This moment really shows how far Mr. Little is willing to go to prove he's not the father, turning the courtroom into a reality show set. And just when you think this couldn't turn up a notch, it totally does.
That we messed around in August, she tell me in November.
What is that, Mr. Little?
You got a calendar from 24 years ago?
Hey, listen,
wow.
man,
I don't even
do
keep
my
a calendar
homework.
from last, but you got a calendar from 24 years
Dig,
ago.
I do my homework. I created a calendar to illustrate, but 3 months later, she tell me she's pregnant a month later. I don't know if she Houdini or what. How do you come up 3 months later pregnant?
Let me walk through your evidence.
Plot twist incoming. Mr. Little spills the beans about getting blindsided with child support deductions from his paycheck, swearing up and down that it's a mistake. This twist throws a whole new layer of financial drama into the mix, proving that paternity puzzles can hit the wallet too. Stick around because the next part is just as juicy.
The reason why I'm searching for you, because I got a little evidence right here. If they start taking stuff out my check, I'm called, I want to take a DNA test because I want to get it stopped.
Tell me, how did you find out you were on child support?
HR came to me and said, we got a garnishment. I called this number. They tell me they taking money out for Miss Degree. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. It's not my child. She done told me twice it wasn't mine. Now she got me on child support.
Oh boy, here's where it gets even stickier. After the garnishment gets halted, Jasmine's mom gets grilled about whose name she dropped for the paternity rodeo when she signed up for welfare. Turns out, it's not just Mr. Little on the potential daddy list. This part dives deep into the sticky web of social and legal drama, showing just how tangled these tales can get. You're not gonna want to miss what happens next. Things get real.
They don't usually stop a garnishment. Once they're getting it, they don't usually stop it unless they have good cause. My question is, were you ever notified that this hearing going to exist where you needed to?
No, Your Honor, because I would have appeared.
When you were asked to give a name, did you give only his name or were there multiple?
Cannon Little name.
It should have been multiple names.
Crank up the drama meter. Jasmine lays it all out, airing her frustration over how long it's taken to figure out if Mr. Little is her dad or not. She's like, dude, I found you in 5 minutes. What's your excuse? Frustration highlights not just the emotional toll, but also the slapstick of the situation as she steps up to call out the absurdity. The reveal coming up is absolutely not to be missed. It's a total showstopper.
I would like to say, he said he been searching that because the child support. And I'm not saying he is my father. I'm not. And I was 11 years old and it took me 5 minutes to get in contact with him. So you telling me it took you 21 years? I mean, how was it that hard? So you must have not been searching. Our family members is married, so how can it be that hard to get? Because you want a child support to stop, right?
And here's the big reveal. Drum roll, please.
Mr. Little, you are her father.
Mr. Moore strides into court today, all geared up to prove he's the real deal dad of 4-year-old Allie Luna. He's totally convinced that the defendant, Ms. Scott, has been playing with his emotions by letting another dude play dad. He's here to squash those doubts and slide into his daughter's life, like he's sliding into home base. Just you wait for what Ms. Scott has to say about this.
You came to court today to prove are the biological father of 4-year-old Aliana, and your current girlfriend claim the defendant has played on your emotion and has allowed another man to raise your little girl. You are desperate to put the defendant's doubt to rest so you can finally end your daughter's life.
Judge Lake's on the case, poking at why Mr. Moore hasn't seen his supposed daughter. Turns out Ms. E. Scott's been blocking him harder than a goalie at a soccer match. No calls, no texts, nada. The audience's jaws drop as Mr. Moore lays out his failed attempts to connect. Hold on to your popcorn, because there's a juicy bit coming up about why Ms. Scott's keeping him at bay.
I've never seen my child a day in my life.
But you're convinced she's your daughter.
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
So why hasn't he seen her? If he feels that way, why hasn't he tried to see her?
I've tried to see her, Your Honor. She blocked me sources of contact. She even changed her number. I tried to reach out to her on social media. I couldn't even get through on that.
Never
Yes,
about seeing her, never. Only thing he ever said was, that's my child.
The beans spill as Mr. Moore drops a bombshell that Ms. Scott was also seeing another guy around the time Allie Luna was conceived. The crowd goes wild. Judge Lake points out that while this might make you scratch your head, it doesn't mean you can just block a guy out. Stay tuned. The saga of their past relationship is about to unfold.
Because she had sex with another guy at the time.
Well, that's reason to doubt.
Yes.
But not deny. That's what you're saying.
Sure.
It still remains that you are a possibility. So now, what was the nature of your relationship?
We met on a dating site. He was kind of like an escape plan for something that I was
An
I wanted
escape
to.
plan.
Yeah.
Escape plan.
Mr. Moore and Ms. Scott swiped right into a whirlwind romance and shacked up almost instantly, but only for a hot minute. This fleeting fling is now at the heart of the paternity puzzle. Coming up, Ms. Scott's got a pregnancy announcement that'll throw everyone for a loop.
Your Honor, we had sex the first night I met her.
We so did not. It was not the first night. It was early, but it wasn't the first night.
Did you use protection?
No, it wasn't protected.
So you moved in for a month. Were you faithful during that month?
Like, I was currently in a relationship when I met him originally.
Allie Luna's birth certificate is missing Mr. Moore's name, but she's rocking the last name of Ms. Scott's current guy. This nugget of info hits the court like a slapstick punchline. They squint at the birth certificate details, noting Mr. Moore's absence. But don't go anywhere. The social media drama is about to ramp up.
Is he on Aliana's birth certificate, your boyfriend?
He is mentioned on all of her hospital paperwork, and she has his last name.
Under child's name, it reads Aliana Janelle, and then for father's name, there's no name listed.
But they allowed me to give my daughter her dad's name, even though his name isn't on there because he physically wasn't there.
Enter Ms. Williams, Mr. Moore's main squeeze, who stirs the pot with tales of social media shade that hint Ms. Scott might think Mr. Moore could actually be the father. Social media is turning this courtroom drama into a soap opera. Buckle up, as the DNA results are just around the corner, and you won't believe this twist.
How I heard of Adriana, and this is why I say he's the father, because when me and Mr. Moore first got together, I had posted Duntavius on social media. Miss Scott here, she commented on there, was like, I hope you got money for a baby wipe.
Never. Why would I do that? He not her daddy.
On top of that, right after when I had our son together in 2016, Mr. Moore had posted my son on social media.
The big moment's here, and Judge Lake's about to drop the DNA truth bomb. The court's buzzing. Everyone's on edge. This is the make or break moment. Keep your eyes peeled. The truth's about to blow the roof off this place.
If a test, which it shouldn't, there's no way a test should say that he is the dad, but if it does, then hey, we will make efforts, have some type of relationship built with them too. Because it's not for me, it's for.
It has been determined by this court. Moore, you are the father.
Can you believe this? Right out of a soap opera, Ms. Fuller drops a huge bombshell that the man on her birth certificate isn't her real dad. Instead, her mother whispered with her last breaths that her true pops was a famous singer, the main squeeze of her life. Talk about starting off with a plot twist. Just wait until you hear what's coming up.
Miss Fuller, you say that on your mother's deathbed, she confessed your dad was not the man listed birth certificate. You claim she then told you that your biological father was actually a well-known singer who was also the love of her life.
All right, hold on to your popcorn, folks. After a wild goose chase, Ms. Fuller finally tracked down this mystery crooner who's literally chilling outside the courtroom as we speak. The audience can't even. They're all gasps and drop jaws. And Judge Lake, she's all in. Buckle up, because their face-to-face is going to be epic.
Today you say you finally tracked him down and he's waiting outside of the court. Now, while you have doubts whether he is actually your biological father, you confess he's your last hope.
Grab the tissues, here's where it gets extra. Ms. Fuller unpacks years of daddy issues, telling us about the day her stand-in dad bounced and spilled the beans that he wasn't her biological father. This news hit her like a truck full of bricks, and honestly, it's been a roller coaster ever since. And just when you think you've caught your breath, there's more to this family drama.
And I took and carried that with me for a long time. I'm 47 years old. I just like some answers. I've got a lot of mixed emotions. I've never needed a father. I've always tried to carry on my life without knowing where I come from. You know, I've been pretty displaced right now. I'm really just looking for some answers, and I need closure.
Hold the phone, folks. Just before she kicked the bucket, Ms. Fuller's mom threw out a name, Cornelius. Yup, that supposedly dear old dad, by the way, was a sax-toting heartbreaker. So Ms. Fuller hit the web, detective hat and all, to track this dude down. Next up, she finds something in her mom's old records that'll knock your socks off.
So my mom, on her deathbed, she died about a year ago, less than a year. She told me that really my father is possibly Cornelius. Didn't know who that was, and who he is, possibly.
So she just gave you a name?
Gave me a name, and she said that basically that he was a saxophone player, he was a musician. And I thought, wow, okay. I found a record in her stuff. Once I heard it, I just was...
You're not ready for this. Ms. Fuller whips out a vinyl record in court like it's show and tell, and guess what? It's got a track her supposed dad wrote all about her mom, Lorraine. If that ain't a clue, I don't know what is. The lyrics? Mushy as heck. Stick around because their first meeting is about to turn the tearjerker up to 11.
And this is song your alleged father wrote about your mother? So that was the song, Lorraine. That's your mother's name.
Yeah.
Here it comes. Ms. Fuller and Mr. alleged dad Neil finally meet, and it's as awkward as a high school dance. There's hugging, there's crying, and the audience is eating it up. They've got a lifetime of catch-up to do in like 5 minutes. You won't want to miss how Mr. Neil handles the spotlight.
Thank you.
Mr. Neil, thank you so much for being here today. We are here because, of course, Ms. Fuller found you, Facebook, she says, and reached out to you. She believes there's a possibility you may be her biological father. Do you remember her mother, Lorraine?
Yes, I was singing in a band at the time.
Oh boy, here's the tea. After Lorraine got hitched to another dude and skipped town, Neil couldn't shake her off. So what did our Romeo do? He tracked her down for one last fling. Yep, it's as scandalous as it sounds. But wait till you hear what happens when the DNA results come in.
Well, yes, I knew she had married somebody else because I knew the guy. He was from the same hometown. She got married and left town. I didn't know where she had. I found out that she was in San Bernardino. So me and my brother drove to San Bernardino to the place I thought she was at. And I knocked on the door and she came to the door.
She did.
Get ready for the big reveal.
As to whether Mr. Neil is her biological father. Mr. Neil, you are not Ms. Fuller's father. I'm sorry, Ms. Fuller.
Buckle up, folks! Ms. Cotton is spilling the tea that Mr. Pendleton denies being the father of their 5-month-old daughter, Love, because his mom is whispering doubts in his ear. She's dead sure he's the dad and is here to clear the air today. Get ready! The next part is a doozy.
Miss Cotton, you say Miss Pendleton's meddling mother is the reason he is denying your 5-month-old daughter, Love Cotton. You claim you are 100% positive the father and plan to set the record straight today.
Oh boy, here we go! Mr. Pendleton and his mom have entered the chat, both firmly in the camp that he couldn't possibly be Love's dad due to some fertility doubts. Mom's not just in his life, she's in his business too.
Mr. Pendleton, you are here today with your mother, and you both believe that it's impossible that you fathered Miss Cotton's daughter because you claim you are unable to have children.
And it gets juicier. Ms. Cotton is firing back, saying Love is practically Mr. Pendleton's twin, minus her own features. She's fuming over him not stepping up, blaming it all on his overbearing mom. Hang tight, because it's about to get even spicier.
I just want to say his mother needs to mind her business. Like, at the end of the day, Darren is a grown man. And I understand he's a mama's boy, but he's a grown man now, and he needs to stand up and take care of his responsibility. Like, my daughter looks exactly like him, and I really not figure out how he denies her.
Your Honor, she don't look nothing like that. None of my features, my nose, my mouth, my eyes, nothing. And on spite of that, I've been in a relationship for 8 years prior to this.
You'll want to hear this. Amidst all the drama, Ms. Cotton doubles down, blaming the paternity denial on Mr. Pendleton's mom playing puppet master. The audience is eating it up. Watch closely because things are about to get more tangled.
You say he's denying your baby.
Yeah.
And you say it's his mother. She's meddling.
Well, she said she was with another man at the same time.
What was the nature of this relationship? Admitted, or what were you
we were together for a while and then we separated, but we were still having sex.
So how many years? How long?
About 10 months separated, and then we were still, dealing with each other.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any wilder, boom, Ms. Cotton drops a bombshell. There was another man in the mix around baby making time. Trust and responsibility are flying out the window now. But wait, there's more drama brewing.
I slept with one person in April.
Okay, so you slept with somebody.
Right, but how many times though? Like, tell me it was once.
One time in April.
But how can I believe
when
I'm
at
saying
the end of the day, I'm a grown
you
woman. I
did
can
it?
do whatever I want.
So how are you 100% sure?
You slept with somebody in April. The court records say that your child born in December, right? Landed April at 9 months.
Oh, snap. Turns out the plot isn't just thick, it's complicated. Ms. Cotton admits the other guy might have ditched protection mid-encounter, shaking up her 100% certainty claim. Keep your eyes peeled. The next revelation is a real kicker.
From when you you slept with the other guy?
Yes.
But you did have sex with someone else, and was it protected or unprotected?
It was protected until he took the condom off.
And that would be unprotected.
But she's 100% sure.
The question of the day, besides the paternity,
Because allegedly she looked, but she a baby. She ain't got her features yet. You know,
How
don't get me
don't she
wrong.
have her features
Don't get me
yet?
wrong. She
Like-
beautiful, but I can't. You know, she a baby.
Get ready for a curveball. The judge is now dissecting the pregnancy timeline after that potential second dad bombshell, trying to pin down the conception mystery. The truth is stranger than fiction here, folks. The verdict's coming up, and you won't believe it.
does the doctor ever verify that the timeline that you believe to be true is? That's the testimony I was trying to get. So now you told Mr. Pendleton that he is the biological father based upon the due date. Did you tell this other guy that he was a possibility?
He's irrelevant.
No, but did you tell him he was a possibility?
I found out all the stuff that was going on. I was honest with him as well. Like,
that's my point.
Here's where it gets real. The spotlight shifts to Mr. Pendleton's role, or lack thereof, in Love's life. Ms. Cotton's not holding back on her disappointment with his daddy duties. The final showdown is upon us. It's gonna be epic.
What has Mr. Pendleton done for her?
honestly, spent a little bit of time, like out on a couple weekends.
Yeah,
but
and
I
I
don't
come
really like,
I've kept
I
her
don't
over
really like
weekends.
him
I
getting
took
my
her out.
daughter,
I took
but
her out
he
down
has
Philly.
got her
You know what I'm
time.
saying? I take her out and have fun with her.
Are you supporting her financially?
No.
I do what I can for her when I can. All right,
no.
whatever.
It's no.
The big reveal is finally here. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Pendleton, you are the father.